One sober to another, here to talk to you just a little bit about what I had on my mind earlier this morning. I had spoken to somebody on Reddit, and what they had to say was quite profound and quite familiar at the same time. They were talking about why they can't stop drinking. And what came to topic was the fact that they didn't understand why they kept going to that bottle in the first place. Now, it wasn't just your casual drinker, I'm gonna have a drink because it's Friday. No, it was the everyday drinker like I used to be. Well, I'm an alcoholic in my own category because that's what I am. However, they were talking about how they didn't understand the why of what drove them to the drink in the first place, because that's the most important thing, folks, in my experience, mine alone, is the why was I drinking. Because I couldn't control the amount that I drank, and I already knew that from the very start. When I popped the top, I knew that it wouldn't be the end of it until everything I had over there was completely gone, or everything that I could even possibly get was not available anymore. And it wouldn't stop until I was either going to jail, flipping a car, jumping out of a window, or doing whatever that made stupid sense to me in my drunken mind, until that roller coaster was done. That's when it would stop. I already knew that, folks. But what I wanted to understand is, why am I compelled to drink in the first place? And a lot of folks don't take the time to stop and think about why it is they drink in the first place. I'm going to speak from my own experience because that's really the only thing I can do for you folks. Why did I drink in the first place? Well, when I went to rehab, I found out quite a few things about myself that I didn't really realize until I started to actually analyze what was going on behind my drinks. And what was going on is I was drowning my childhood memories, and I was drowning the fact that I thought I was a failure, and I was drowning all these other things. And I use the term drowning because that's exactly what I was doing with that alcohol, folks, is I was making it to the point where I couldn't think about that stuff anymore because I was so drunk and so lost that I was going to do something stupid that had nothing to do with any of it. That's just me. When I was finally able to get to the why of my drink, then I was able to get to the how can I begin to stop this? Because that roller coaster that I was on, that train that I was on that was headed into the mountainside that I talked about before, was going nowhere, and it was going to hit that mountainside, and the roller coaster was going to go off the rails and go flying into oblivion if I didn't figure out the how to stop. How I figured that out, folks, and you may not care, and this may not resonate with you quite the same way, but I guarantee if you look at your own drinking or your own using, you will see that there's always a why and there's always a how. For me, the how was I needed to talk to other folks who have been successful in sobriety and recovery and living a life of recovery as an alcoholic or an addict. How did they do it? The answer that I received, and this is going to be mind-blowing for some of you who have never looked at it. The answer that I received is talk to another alcoholic about what happened to them. Shut my mouth and listen to their story, because once you hear another alcoholic story or another addict story, you will hear your own. And that will allow you to be able to see it from a different perspective and perhaps get to the why you are drinking or using in the first place. It's different for everybody, folks. And for me, it was, I felt like a complete failure my entire life. And I still feel like a failure most days. The difference in my sobriety is I know that that's not true. But I still feel like it sometimes. But I know for a fact it's not true, folks. And that's how I know I don't have to drink today, because my higher power gives me the strength and courage to talk to you guys and to spill my guts out, even though most people don't want to hear about it. But if the one person that sees it and says, why do I drink in the first place, and how can I stop it? That's food for thought. That's something to chew on. And I'm going to throw out today's daily reflection in just a moment. But I just wanted you to think about that and think about all the reasons behind that glass, that bottle, that shot, that whatever. And then the how. Today's daily reflection for January 22nd, 2021. Today's daily reflection for January 22nd, 2021. Let's keep it simple. Let's go. Let's keep it simple, folks. A few hours later, I took my leave of Dr. Bob. The wonderful old broad smile was on his face as he said, almost jokingly, "Remember, Bill, let's not louse this thing up. Let's keep it simple." I turned away, unable to say a word. That was the last time I ever saw him. Alcoholics Anonymous comes of age, page 214. After years of sobriety, I occasionally ask myself, can it be this simple? Then, at meetings, I see former cynics and skeptics who have walked the AA path out of hell by packaging their lives without alcohol into 24-hour segments, during which they practice a few principles to the best of their individual abilities. And then I know, again, that while it isn't always easy, if I keep it simple, it works. My gosh, folks. Keeping it simple is how I use my day. My 24-hour segments, I take arguments simple. If there's conflict, I say the serenity prayer, and I'm going to put that right there. And if you don't believe in God, feel free to omit that. However, folks, I'm going to tell you straight up. Having a higher power on your side, something outside of yourself that gives you strength, is something more advantageous and beneficial in my life than I ever thought it would be. I keep things simple, folks. I don't worry about what I can't change. I focus on things that I can. And I practice, and this might look familiar, having the wisdom to know the difference between the two. Because there's a huge difference. And if you've ever watched how AA was born in the videos that I have in my reel, in Journey With Me, you will understand what exactly is being referenced by Dr. Bob and Bill. They are the co-founders of Alcoholics Anonymous. And if that's not your thing, folks, their stories are amazing. And they are recovering alcoholics as well. The way that I live my life and the way that I keep things today is just 24 hours at a time. If I can ease an argument by not simply just agreeing with it, but don't patronize anybody, don't get explosive, and I don't take anything too personal, then my life is easy. If I don't struggle with worries, if I don't let anxiety get the best of me, now that's easier said than done, folks. That all comes with practice. Today's daily reflection, after years of sobriety, I occasionally ask myself, can it be this simple? 5 years, folks, I've been living in sobriety. And I do really almost every single day say, is it really this easy? Because for my 23 plus years of drinking myself almost to death, I didn't think any of it was easy. And I thought anybody that, managed to get sober and stay that way were beating themselves to death just trying to work a program. You know what? Working my program is easy. Working the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, it takes some inner courage and some strength and some help with a higher power, but it's easy. It's hard to look inward. It's hard to say, I jacked this up and this is how, or make amends with somebody that you might be afraid to. But overcoming those obstacles will get you on the right path to sobriety, folks. It got me on the right path to sobriety, so perhaps it can help you. The guy on Reddit, I still worry about him, and I tried to find his profile. And the reason I tried to find his profile is because I was going to send his name to a friend of mine, Ashley Kessner, who is a recovery coach now, and perhaps she could help him better than me. Since I haven't said his name, he can't stop drinking vodka, and the amount that he is drinking is eventually going to jack his organs up, but next his mind, and then who knows. So I was trying to send your information, if you're watching, to my friend Ashley Kessner, because she can possibly help you a little bit better than me. All I can do here on One Sober to Another, folks, is share my experience, strength, and hope. That's really all I can do for you. And I'm not as animated, and I'm not as computer savvy, and I'm not as blah, blah, blah. But I accept those things about myself, and I will work better to make these videos a little bit more, energetic. However, the point of that is that keeping things simple in my life, in the world that I operate, my donut, because everything outside of my little donut, folks, I can't control. Everything within my donut, I can control. And that's what I like to focus my sobriety and recovery wheel on. Now, that's something to chew on. That's something to think about. If you've gotten anything from today's daily reflection, as always, please drop a like to this video. Drop a comment below so somebody else can get some of your experience, strength, and hope. I have a live stream coming up this weekend. Matter of fact, tomorrow at 1800 Berlin time, which is 12 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast, and do the math for the rest of the U.S. I want anyone out there who has a burning question on their mind, or something they would like to ask me, or something you would like to discuss, bring your questions and comments to One Sober to Another on the live stream that I'm having. Ask me anything. I look forward to seeing some of you. I hope that you can join me, and I hope that we can share a candid conversation and perhaps get to know each other a little bit better. I will be on there, regardless if you are or not, but I hope to see you there. I'm One Sober to Another. Life's a garden. Dig it, folks. Boom. I'm going to see you in the next one. Have a good Taga.